How's it going, guys and girls? This is Ketchup and Mustard here once again, bringing you a pretty significant video for Sorcerer Quan Chi. Long story short, he is only supposed to be able to place one of these spells on the floor at any given time. It will last 10 seconds, and when those 10 seconds have passed, he can cast another one. Turns out Quan Chi can actually cast 2 spells at any given time using a specific setup to get this to happen. We're not sure why this happens, but obviously shout outs to Sassolino, one of our viewers, who told us that he saw AI Quan do this, and obviously shout outs to Ben Hartle on YouTube, who sent us the video we could kind of study and take notes from. We're going to start off with how to get this to trigger. Basically you do this by start off by putting the Hex down 2. This increases chip damage, but you're not going to worry about this for just a second. You put this on the ground, wait for it to run out, so do anything during this time, and the second you see this run out, a second later, cast your armour. Now, from the 8th second onwards, you can cast a Hex 2 seconds earlier than you're supposed to be able to. So I can cast a Hex, and then when the armour runs out, I can cast armour once again. I now have 2 spells on the screen rather than 1. And from this point on, there are 2 triggers. The second the Hex runs out, I can cast any spell that I want. After it runs out, my armour is still there. When that runs out, I can cast another armour. So basically, we've tricked the game into thinking that there are 2 triggers, and there are 2 timers for the armour. So when it runs out, we can just cast another one. And if I want to go full screen and sit in armour, here we go. He's now sitting in increased chip. I'm sitting in armour. If that runs out, I can, it works for many spells. I can cast myself the meter drain, and then when my armour runs out, cast armour once again. I'm now sitting in armour, and I drain meter on hit. So as you can see, that specific setup is a huge deal, because it allows you to create 2 spells at once. You may be telling yourself there is a lot of setup involved here, but most discoveries here generally tend to involve a lot of setup. But just to run it over one more time so that you guys understand, you start this off with a Hex, down 2. This works in a game. I've managed to get this online. I was sitting in 2 armour spells at the same time, which was just hilarious. So you wait for the Hex to run out, and then you cast your armour. On the 8th second onwards, you cast another Hex. You can only cast a Hex, but the Hex is what's creating the second trigger. So here comes the chip, and now I can cast another spell. We're now sitting in 2. From this point on, when the chip runs out, you can cast whatever spell you like, and it doesn't matter. So I can cast another armour if I want when it runs out, and then when my other armour runs out, cast another one. This could be any spell that I like, and that's how you trigger it. This has a multitude of applications, but before I go into the practical uses, we're going to talk about his chip damage. So we're going to go for this again. Hex first, and then when the Hex runs out, we're going to have to wait 10 seconds for it to run out. When it runs out, we're going to go for the armour once again. So we're going to have to quickly be a little bit patient. When this runs out, go for the armour, and then on the 8th second, cast a Hex. When the armour runs out, we can cast a second Hex. So let's try and cast a Hex. Here we go. And then when the armour runs out, here's another one. If he blocks this now, I get double chip damage. Normally that's supposed to do regular chip, but as you can see there, the chip damage is double. This is pretty good by itself. It's mad situational. I don't see that specifically happening in a match, but if the opponent is affected by both at the same time, when these spells run out, Quan Chi gets permanent increase on his chip damage. So if he blocks this now, it's as if Kotal Khan is sitting in chip or the Hex, but he's not. I'm doing this anywhere on screen. Another reason this is a big deal is because if I now cast the Hex, combined with the permanent chip, I do double chip on one single Hex, and that includes normals. That's pretty insane as well. By doing this, Quan Chi gets a legitimate, well I say legitimate, 100% combo. So if I get him onto 100% health, this entire thing will kill him from the start. So go for a trance, go for the Hex, down 3, guarantees 1-4, uppercut, and he's dead. That's a legitimate 100%. If you find yourself, for whatever reason, catching that double Hex and they get caught by both of them, Quan Chi will be granted increased chip. The second that happens, one touch will kill the opponent. That combo is not difficult, it's not hard to do, but it will guarantee them to die if they get touched by it. So that's the gist of it. We're going to quickly talk about a couple of practical uses right now. So we're going to quickly run over a few uses that we've kind of found of it almost immediately, really. If you find yourself in the corner, you're going to start the sequence with the Hex. So you go for a Hex, and you're not really using this for the chip, you're using it just to start it. So if you manage to catch a combo in this kind of situation, you catch someone in like a corner combo. And then if you can go for the armour while they're in the trance, go for the armour, and if I catch a low immediately, This combo that you do right here takes just enough time that if I do a forward dash, jump in 141, I can go for Hex. Meter Burn Rune, go for my armour, and here we go, 2 spells on the screen. There's increased chip there if he tries to work his way in. I can zone as I always want to. If I knock him on the floor, now I can go for another armour spell if I time it properly. And then when this one runs out, I can go for another one. So I'm sitting in 2 armour spells. This is, you know, it's kind of situational, but the reality is I'm now sitting in 2 forms of armour, and he has to work doubly hard if he wants to knock me out of him. The second I see one go, I can cast another one. Bear in mind, this entire time you're probably going to be zoning and going for another one. You're going to be moving around to try and set them up differently, but this entire time you're going to be kind of sort of zoning in the area and trying to make yourself really hard to hit. Knock him down, go for another armour spell, and then here we go. You know, it's kind of that kind of sorcerer zoning where you're going to be using the meter burn rune to guarantee the spell, only this time you're going to manage it a little bit more to grant yourself 2 pieces of armour rather than 1. Here's where things are going to get a little bit more situational. The double armour is the more likely scenario you're going to get, and it's the most frequent I've managed to get it in online matches, is the double armour. However, there are specific setups I think will be discovered, like this one, that might be able to increase your chances of the opponent sitting in both of those Hex spells, which will give you the guaranteed chip at all times. So the combo I just showed you, we can do this again. So you're going to be using this to set it up. Let's just say we're doing some kind of footsie game here, you know, we're going back and forth. I catch him late on in the combo, and I trance him. So by the time this is over, I've got armour. And here we go, I catch him in the exact same combo, go for this. This combo lasts just long enough that the 8 seconds has been used up. 141, Hex, go for this knockdown, another Hex, and then here we go. He's now standing in both of them. Now he stands in both of them, here comes the guaranteed chip, and obviously if he's sitting in them, you can see the chip there's pretty significant. X-ray him, you know, bam, look at that kind of chip. But the point is, you've kind of knocked him down, and he's tech rolled into a Hex, and if he tries to move forward to escape that one, he's running into the second one, which now means for the rest of this game, he can't get touched, because if I touch him at this health, or even more, you can see the chip. You can see the chip. So if I catch him now, at any point in this game, if I touch him, this 100% is completely possible. Now I've got the guaranteed chip. Oh my god, he's already been... I didn't even get a chance to do the full combo because of the chip. This can stack the more you do it, but that was just off one sequence and you saw the damage it did. That's pretty much the entire thing. It will be situational. I do strongly disagree that it's not, you know, viable. A lot of people are saying this will not work in a real match. I've been messing about with it for 5 minutes and I've already managed to get it in matches at least once. I think upon further experimentation this could become, you know, another part of Sorcerer Quan's arsenal really. Many people told me that my rune trap was unviable. I would never get that in a real match, and I got it in winners top 16 at Evo, and I got it at versus fighting top 8, so, you know, these things with enough experimentation and just messing around, these things can totally become viable. Mustard Knight's competitive opinion is this should not be in the game. I, you know, would expect it to be hotfixed out. I almost think it should probably be banned, absolutely. He does way too much damage here. The reality is if you catch this, Quan Chi will kill you in one touch. It's worse than Cyrax for MK9. He touches you once and you're gone, on block especially. And that's kind of it. Mustard Knight signing off. Hopefully you were kind of able to kind of follow us here. It's quite technical, but this is the way we've been able to kind of recreate it and have it consistent. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you next time. Take care.